My name is Kristen Rosen Gonzalez, and I'm here today to tell you why I'm voting no on this 3 different ballot questions about financing for general obligation bonds, GO bonds, totaling almost $500 million. It's a lot of money. It's $439 million that we are going to tax the residents of Miami Beach, and I'm out here today to explain to you why I'm voting no. One of the reasons I'm voting no on this bond is this parking lot right now. There's a proposed $50 million aquatic center and huge parking facility that's going to be built on this lot. Those people who live in North Beach, they love coming here to North Beach. They pull their car up, they go eat at George's or at Rancho Grande, head to the beach. There's a low density, small town feel to North Beach that's going to be completely lost. This entire area is slated to become huge towers with hotels and residential units. I've tried to hold the line on that. I've been unsuccessful because the commission has voted again and again to make this an urban dense area. But I will say that if you vote no on this $15 million parking garage, which really is a giveaway to developers, where you're going to improve the land where their huge towers are, so we are going to absorb their traffic, their effluent, their crime, the dirt of all of these people and tourists that are going to come here, and we're going to get this parking lot taken away. I just think it's wrong. We should not be paying for a $15 million parking lot right here. Another reason I'm voting no on the GO bonds is that the city has been very inefficient in administering the current 60 capital improvements projects that we have going on. Indian Creek is a perfect example of the city just messing up. Over here, we have ripped out everybody's mangroves. All of those homes there on Flamingo Drive, they no longer have a buffer. And we have a situation where half of the seawall is up, half of the seawall is not up. We got permit violations, so the project is shut down. And as you can see, we've had to close off portions of Indian Creek for the past 2 years, and this project will not be finished for another 2 or 3 years. We have 60 projects like that. There's a perception that we're not doing a lot of capital infrastructure work, but over the past 5 years, the city of Miami Beach has done $300 million in infrastructure work, and some of this has been trial and error, so we need to slow down, plan properly, bond smaller amounts of money, and finish the projects that we have right now that we have been unable to successfully complete. Here we are in the Collins Park neighborhood. This one parking lot alone, the quote-unquote Zaha Hadid parking lot, which never happened because it was financed and planned and drawn several different times over 15 years. We have been looking at this project for 15 years, and we are just now breaking ground. We are now in Mid-Beach on Prairie Avenue. As you can see, this is a project that we started. We opened up the entire street. Then we figured out that we were doing it all wrong, and we weren't sure at which elevation to do it, nor do we have the proper plan. So now we have filled it in. Prairie is now dangerous for kids that are biking back and forth to school, and this project is in limbo. And I have residents living on Prairie Avenue calling or writing me all the time and saying, when is the city going to finish the project? Well, we're going to finish it when we figure out what we want to do and when we understand what we have to do to mitigate sea level rise. We just don't know yet. We have not figured out those blue and green areas. We're in the process, but we have time, thank goodness. We do not need to rush this bonding money because it will be wasted money. So as we contemplate this $500 million in projects and the 60 projects that we haven't yet finished and the 57 that this GO bond proposes, I drive around the city and I become furious because we can't even accomplish the most basic of functions. When you look up at City Hall, we can't even keep City Hall looking clean and painted. Look at the top there. I noticed it the other day, and I said to myself, why would I have to call to ask them to make sure that City Hall looks clean? And here, this is the pièce de résistance, the Sunset Harbor neighborhood that cost probably $50 million. You have businesses that are lower than the streets that flood every single time it rains, and the pumps go off when it rains, so we had to put in generators after the fact without landscaping them. If ever there were a mess up, I would say Sunset Harbor is its depiction. So this is what we have, and this is why I'm voting no on the GO bond. We need to work and organize these projects a little bit more before we begin to put generators in the middle of the streets, because now you come into this neighborhood and this is what greets you, generator.
I am concerned that this is too much money. The commission has too much lateral movement on how the monies are going to be done in that particular issue of the bond, the questions. I know that it's divided into three, but it's a whole amount for three and it doesn't specify. We tried. I think it would be better if you tie it to the project. So I think it needs more betting on the issue of how you're going to do it and the phases that you're going to do it. Look at 11th Street. 11th Street, it's been going on for, I think, a year and a half or 2 years, and they haven't finished that project. It's still being done. So if that one project is a year and a half or whatever time, it's a long time, because that's a street that I take and I can't take it anymore. And you know, I think we really need to look at it further and maybe do a small amount and pin the project down, say what project, and when you show the residents that you are going to accomplish what you say, then ask for more. But I think it's a little bit too much all at once.